Aries, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. All welcome to my tarot table. My name is Michelle. This is my premier channel, Born Without Boundaries Tarot. I have a second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation, where I go live for a live chat Monday through Friday. So I hope you will join me there to enjoy a general tarot card reading and live chat. I'll attach the link somewhere above. It'll be floating up. Or you just at Astrology Motivation. Aries, you got a real interesting week here. And I alluded to it in last week's video. I'll attach that link to the end of this video. Also, I always create an extended reading, which I really do hope that you'll join me for, because it gets down and into the nitty-gritty and goes into details. And you know, I can share a lot more there than I can necessarily over on YouTube, just because I don't have to worry about strict algorithms or advertisers over on Vimeo. So go check that out too. I'll attach the link down below, as well as pin it to the top of the comment section for your convenience. So what I alluded to last week was that there was something coming. It's been coming for some time, in that you could feel it in the air. And last week was a beautiful week. And I wanted you to enjoy the week. Because there are beautiful things going on in your life. And that's not going to be taken away this week. And I don't want to give you the impression that that's what's going to happen. It's not. But there is bullshit coming up. And by bullshit, I do mean some social stuff. I say that because the two houses that are majorly activated are Gemini and Aquarius, which has got to do with some sort of talking, chatting, conversation, he said, she said, social shit. And then the other house that is activated really is Sagittarius, which is also very social energy, and you know it could stoke the fire really quickly, jump to conclusions, or people talking out their ass without thinking. So, why do I know this? It's because of the astrology, and I'm going to go over the astrology with you. In fact, I will be talking about the astrology with you throughout this reading. I already have some tarot cards on the table. The way that I read is I will sift through what's going on in the current situation, and I will translate that for you through the cards. Whatever comes up in the past is directly impacting what's going on right now, and then we'll get into the predictive and what's happening in the future. So stick around for all of it, or you won't understand any of it. So the astrology this week is concerning because an opposition between Mars retrograde, which is your ruling dignitary. Mars retrograde is an opposition to the Venus-Mercury conjunction. And the Venus-Mercury conjunction in and of itself is actually, it's actually a very beautiful energy. It speaks to speaking out, being heard, words sounding really good, being able to make them very poetic and very graceful and elegant with communications. It's in Sagittarius, so this has got to do with sort of like the group campfire, people talking. Now, that might actually be a good thing. The opposition means there will be stress on you, and actions that, because it's Mars retrograde, actions that you've taken in the past. So it could be that you are making nice or reconciling with somebody, reconciling some issues. The uncomfortable part is that you will not have a choice. Shit will just come out and up, and then you will be put in a position where you have to deal with that. There is a beautiful trine that's between Mars and Saturn, which is going to help you put things into a nice, steady order and handle things and maybe even rectify things long term. Now, when I say rectify and reconcile, I'm not necessarily putting the blame on you. In fact, I'm not placing blame at all. I'm just saying this is shit that you're going to have to deal with, and it does have to do with stuff that is coming up. Why do I say it from the past? Because Mars is also squared to Neptune, and Neptune holds on to a lot of crap from the past as if it's going on today. You know, it's kind of delusional that way. Or it has to do with stuff that was swept under the carpet. Now, as the moon moves through this kerfuffle, It's going to eventually it's gonna be a little rough as it goes through Sagittarius, because it's gonna exacerbate that challenging energy opposite Mars. But as it goes into Aquarius, it will conjunct Saturn, which is actually, it's a hard conjunction because Saturn and the moon don't tend to really get along. They're opposing energies. But what that means is it could be almost like teaming up. It also could have people teaming up and getting together, like enemies becoming friends for the mission to make things better or make things work out. So really being able to find a truce or find a compromise. It could have to do with also family stuff. Think of the moon as the mother and the Saturn as the father coming together, maybe telling you things or going over things that they should have settled. Remember, the action that Mars takes in Gemini is communication. So all of this is happening through information or conversation that was held back, or that wasn't said, or that was intentionally, if you think about that Neptunian square, kept under the carpet, or that there was always, there's not necessarily that much malice, that there was always a little bit of confusion on, that nobody really knew what to do with. And now it's kind of being brought out onto the table, which I think, generally speaking, is very, very good, but it will not be easy. You know, it will be detoxifying. And long term, think of that Saturn trine Mars in retrograde. For long term, it will create harmony. It will create health. But right now, it's going to hit you like it's hot. You know what I'm saying? And by the end of the week, it gets a little bit even worse, if I could say that, because there is a very loose conjunction. There's a very loose opposition to the sun that forms, in addition to the now loosening opposition to the Mercury-Venus conjunction, which means that you're also at odds with yourself, or how you look in public, or how the public sees you. You know, in terms of maybe something coming out or being discussed out loud that you didn't want. Like, you didn't want all this attention on you. You would have preferred to just talk to the parties concerned. Just an FYI, this is the astrology that will be impacting your energy this week. Remember, this is an energy reading, and that you can apply and should apply this energy to wherever it's resonating in your life. These are the cards that have revealed themselves to me. Are you ready? This is the Sun. Sweet results await, but this is coming in the future. And I love that the cards wanted me to know this, in that sweet results await means health, happiness, and prosperity. It's all going to work out. It has a 7 on it. You could do 7 days. It's going to take at least a week for all this to really settle down, or 7 weeks, so into the beginning of next year. Remember, Mars also goes direct in, I think it's January 9th. So that could take us out to around that time, when you can actually start working on things again and realize that all the hard work that you're doing or forced to do now this week and into next week is actually going to really produce some beautiful results. Now, we also have this card, Know Your Worth, and it's a bit compromised, right? Yes, it is. So this is Aries energy, generally speaking. What is compromised about who you are? It means that you're going to be making a lot of sacrifices and putting a lot of extra time, energy, and effort into making this right. And even though it will actually work out wonderfully, it will come at great personal cost to you. I think especially in terms of energy and vitality, which means this is going to drain you. But at least the good news is it's going to be worth it, right? Only the busy bee gets the honey, and honey does result. It's just in a lot of ways, what may happen is you, like, thinking to yourself, like reconsidering different aspects of what you were once really confident with, or know your worth. Feel somehow that in some ways your value has been compromised. But I got to tell you, it really hasn't, because the sun will shine. Let's see what's here We have co-create with spirit. So this is fated. And this is also news coming out of the dark. If I heard I heard a Native American tale that said crow brings light into the dark. So it's the dark wings that bring messages out of the dark places. So you can think of it like that. That's a little bit in the past, but more current. It's almost like the current situation really hasn't showed up. But that tells me that it's like past and present are meshing, because it has to. Like there's something that has to be healed for the future to be bright. And that's what's being predicted, which means this is all worth it. But understand, this is trust in divine detours. That, yeah, you're not going to expect this coming at you. This information is just going to come out of nowhere, feel like it comes out of nowhere. It will not be unfamiliar information. You will have already touched it or interacted with it. You'll know about it, so it's not like shocking. But I think what's shocking is it's coming out. It's coming up. It's coming to light. You know, stuff that had been put into the deep recesses of, okay, no one will open this closet again. Well, here's the closet flying the fuck open, and now you have to deal with all the shit that comes out of it. Good stuff can be found, but it will take a lot of energy from you. We have watch and wait. This is that Piscean energy, dude. It tells me honestly that Neptune's been waiting for just the right time. And this is divine timing. This is the right time. This is when all of it comes out. Now, this could be deception. This could be something that was intentionally kept in the dark. Stuff that could have been kind of shady or twisty or not necessarily on the up and up. And like I said, you would have had something to do with it. Honestly, it may not have even been your execution. It could have just been, oh, I knew about it. And then people getting in your face, well, if you knew about it, why didn't you say anything? Cause it wasn't my business. You know, there's a half a dozen great reasons why you would have just wanted it to remain silent. It doesn't have to be because I wanted to get out of trouble or I was trying to do something bad to somebody. It doesn't have to be like that. But what it is saying is there is definitely like, and this card tells me that on some level you kind of always knew that it was going to have to be confronted. You kind of always knew that one day this shit was going to come up. Now, Neptune, and I don't want to scare anybody, but Neptune could also have to do with health or health issues, especially with regards to lymphatic system, like glands and mucus in the body. So it could be that the way that this hits you is just a bad cold, and you had felt it coming on for a while, and now all of a sudden it's like, poosh, you know, because that Neptune square Mars rules the head. Neptune is in Pisces. It rules like the lymphatic system, all the glands and mucus and stuff. And then Mars is in Gemini, so Gemini is the lungs. You could have thought, yay, escape this. And then bam, the flu hits you. It could even be, for some of you, COVID hits. This is not a death sentence. It is not for most people. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, just make sure that you're talking to your doctor. Make sure that you're getting the treatments available. This works out fine. I'm telling you, the card's saying this is going to work out okay, but it's going to take a little bit of the wind out of you. So it could translate into something like that too. But I can't ignore that Gemini and Aquarius are involved, right? Saturn's in Aquarius. Gemini is, of course, Mars is, of course, in Gemini. This is also communications and group communications, shit coming out through friends. Now there is, toward the end of the week, this beautiful sextile that forms between Saturn and the the Mercury-Venus conjunction, which means that it could be some mother-father figure that's helping you out or getting things done. It doesn't have to be your mother and father. Could be friends of yours that are also family members that are helping you out and facilitating and smoothing things out. But once again, it's also in Aquarius, so there's some sort of group or community dynamic to it. We did have a party that came up last week. I wonder what might have come up at the party, or if this is the party that is kind of like revealing things that's happening this week. So it could all come out at a party or at some sort of social gathering of sorts. Okay, let's get into the details. Yes, oh yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface yet, my friends. Let's go. Moon card. We just had a beautiful moon. Okay. I mean, this is kind of almost a little too perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we're doing is we're unraveling. Nothing will come of this situation. So you can keep that at heart and you could say, okay, even though this is really bothersome right now, no big shit is going to really come from this, and then expect powerful change. So how do those two coexist? Not really sure right now. I kind of need to think on that one. Nothing will come of this situation, expect powerful change. Okay, now I just heard it. This is coming out current. Something that you thought nothing will come of it, it's not a big deal, is actually going to be a really big deal. It's actually going to be something that creates really big change. You thought it was something small. You thought it was something that nobody would know. Remember, this is moon, so it could be things done in secret. But the eclipse, could have been somewhere around the eclipse that shit started to come out and change this little thing into this big thing, which means it was actually never really a little thing. It was just the distance between where you were and when you would have to deal with it. And now it's become the time when you're going to have to deal with it. We have be bold and make the first move. It's saying, you know how you make this a success? You know how you make this a triumph? You know how you survive this and come out on the other side healthy and stronger? By being proactive. By not letting it, like, it's going to surprise you, it's going to come to you, but deal with it. Deal with it immediately. Be bold and make the first move is also a sentiment of you want to, I mean, maybe something that you didn't think was going to be so big or matter so much matters a lot more than you think. So take action on it. I don't know. It could have to do with school education because Gemini controls that. Also friend communication, maybe a friend becoming a lover. You let it resonate wherever it is, but it's definitely saying be proactive because something that you thought was only little could be really big. It's going to be big, and it could change the dynamic of even the way you see things. Communication is key. Talk to people about it. Let it out. Say things. Don't keep it to yourself, and do not, big ass red flag, think that you can handle this all alone. You cannot. You will definitely need, remember the trine, the powerful, helpful trine between Mars and another planet right now is to Saturn. So ask your parents for help, authority figures for help, ask somebody who knows better, somebody who, by authority, I don't mean the police or some shit, unless you need them, then call them. But I mean like somebody who knows, somebody who is good at this, right? Like consult, could even be, consult like public health, right? Or public safety. Consult, talk, communicate. If this is a personal issue among you and your friends, as catastrophic as it may feel, as destructive as it may feel, talking it out is going to help. Saying things, speaking, letting people know what's going on, having a group conversation about it is therapy for it. It's all right, let's all sit around and fucking talk about it. You want to yell, you want to scream, but at least it's all out on the table. That is going to actually help you. Communication is key. And I think it goes beyond just what you have to do to make a success out of this really stressful situation. I think communication is the key to everything that's going on this week because Mars is in Gemini. Communication is key. So it's all bottles down to either something that has already been said or something that needs to be said because it wasn't said. It needs to be, you need to talk. You need to talk about this. Can't stress that enough. Let's get into the future and where we're headed. So what is happening with this situation? You know what I think I want to ask? Who is the, oh, look, 9 of Pentacles. That means that you actually get and opportunity or appreciation. So all this that you feel is going to wreck you is actually bringing you to a deeper understanding, or a deeper appreciation for you. Could even be that you're finding money is owed to you, so get that money, honey. I also want to know, however, King of Wands, are you dealing with a male fire sign or a masculine fire sign? Somebody who is very creative, proactive. It could even be a job offer, a job opportunity, or something that somebody owes you, or this person finally acknowledging your value and how much they, just how much you're worth to them. This is getting a little bit deeper and more personal. So I was going to ask, who are the major participants here besides Aries? Who are the major participants? Well, first of all, so we have the Emperor, and that could be Aries. So it's saying it's you. You could represent the King of Wands, which is the masculine. Air is masculine energy, fire sign. Taking charge and really getting value back. So in other words, even though the shit might hit the fan and people might be talking shit about you this week, eventually the way that you handle it and the maturity that you handle it with is going to add to your value. So this is one of those weeks, and I'm glad you waited till we go to the extended. This is one of those weeks where it feels like your whole world's coming apart, and it kind of is, because it needs to be unraveled to be built back better. And without this week, it feels like everything's crumbling when it's really falling into place. That's pretty much what it's saying. And we're going to get further. Oh, bitch. Okay, let's go to the extended. I hope that you guys will join me. The link is down below, and I will see you there.